I'd like to introduce Kevin from England, and Kevin has multiple sclerosis. Welcome, Kevin.
Hello, Linda.
Could you tell us, when were you diagnosed with MS?
I was diagnosed in 1997.
Right. And how old were you at the time?
I would have been 37.
37.
Or coming up to 37 anyway.
Mm-hmm. So what led to your diagnosis? What was your life like before then, and what kind of symptoms did you have?
Well, I was at Bible college, so I was under a little bit of stress, I suppose. And I just started with pain in my elbow, which I went to the doctors, and he said it was tennis elbow, come back next week and I'll give you an injection.
Mm-hmm.
I went back the next week, but by that time my hand was just doing whatever it wanted to do. So he said, I don't think it's tennis elbow, and sent me to hospital, where they did all sorts of tests.
Was it a tremor you had in your hand?
I'm not sure what you call it. My fingers was just...
Were they shaking or twitching?
They weren't shaking, they were twitching and moving.
Right, okay. Mm-hmm.
I just had no control over them.
Yeah.
And really the lower part of my arm I had very little control over. So he sent me into hospital where they did all sorts of tests, and thankfully came up with a decision straight away.
That's unusual, because most people tend to have to wait quite a while before they get diagnosed.
I feel so sorry for people that some you hear that waited years. That must be horrible. Yeah, I mean, before that I did have problems with my eyes, but they just said that was probably an infection and told me to go away. It got better.
So how long did you have MS before you learnt of LDN?
Well, I was diagnosed in 97, and I'd learnt about LDN probably 2005, 2006. Then spent the next 2 or 3 years trying to convince the doctor to prescribe me it.
Did your own GP prescribe it for you?
It did eventually, yes.
Well, that was also very lucky, wasn't it?
It was a lovely man. And
Are you still getting it on the NHS?
I am at the moment, but I did send you an email today because we've just moved. I had to give up work because of my MS.
Ah, yes.
And we've moved house and changed doctors. And my doctor, although the one I spoke to was very sympathetic, has just sent me a letter trying to get me to a neurologist and questioning whether they can continue with my LDN. So hopefully I'll continue, but I don't know. I've got to try and take lots of information to her to convince her.
Yes. So how has that LDN helped? What symptoms has it helped with?
It helped. I was very, very urgent in going to the toilet. And it calmed that down a lot. I was getting up sort of 5, 6 times during the night. Now, if I get up once during the night, then that's the most I do get up. Sometimes I don't get up at all. That's the main thing it helps with.
Yes. Well, I used to get up 6 times a night, and I get up once, and I still feel hard by. I like my sleep, but I really shouldn't complain once he's not here nor there, is it? My mother always gets up twice anyway, so she's worse than me.
It's never affected my sleep being awake, so. But now, something LDN hasn't helped with, which I was hoping it would. I'll go to bed, have a good night's sleep, and wake up feeling just as tired.
Yeah.
Well, that's something it hasn't dealt with.
Do you feel as fatigued as you used to?
I'm not sure now. I think I've probably gone back to feeling as fatigued as I used to. But certainly initially it helped a lot with the fatigue. So I don't know whether that's just because I've got worse or I'm not working on what now.
Did you have any initial side effects when you started LDN?
I didn't, no. no dreams or anything.
Mhm.
I was looking forward to the dreams, but I never got any. Well, I don't know what they would have been like, so I don't know if I was looking forward or not.
So what's your level of fitness now?
I can still walk in the house, and I can sort of get outside, but if I go sort of really beyond the gate, I can get to my car or I need my wheelchair.
Yes. Did you ever have any cognitive problems?
Don't think so, no.
Mm.
No.
So what would you say to other people with MS who are thinking of trying LDN?
I tell them it's really worth trying, and I say even if it's just for my sleep, I'm certain if I think deeply it helps with other things. But even if it's just with my toileting and that, it's worth me taking it. And there's so many things it can help with. I advise anybody I speak to try and get it.
What about your eyesight? How's that now you're on LDN?
My eyesight is back to normal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What about your hand with the...
Again, that went back to normal fairly quickly. I had a course of steroids and that went back. Although I've still got a numbness in my hands and my feet that came on at the same time.
So will you be continuing to take LDN?
I will, definitely. Yeah, I don't want to stop taking it. Yeah, if I'm open, I'll convince the doctors to continue, but otherwise I'll have to have a look at all the other options for getting it.
Yeah.
Because I do also feel that it is holding it back. Even though my wife would, and I know I'm feeling a little bit worse than I was 2 or 3 years ago. I'm certain it is holding it back.
Good. Well, thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Okay, thank you.